Alright, everybody, welcome back to Tangle Tower. We started talking with this jerk-off, who
I don't especially
I'm not really a fan of because he's kind of said nothing but really negative things about everybody except his daughter and himself. So, yeah, I don't like him. Let's continue questioning him.
I haven't seen that tape for a long time. Who broke it?
No idea.
Ah, well, possessions are fleeting, my friends.
So which one is Tangle Tower?
What's that?
There are two towers, right? Flora's tower and your astronomy tower.
Neither? Truly, I have no idea. You'd have to ask Flora.
She named the house?
The whole thing is a result of her squabbling with her family.
With Felix, you mean? Her husband?
No, her brother and sister, and her father. The Remington family was a rather tumultuous little unit, you see. I don't think Flora has spoken with any of them in over a decade. Not exactly a wealth of information, is it?
It's enough.
Isn't the process of decay fascinating?
It's not really decaying. It's plastic.
It's becoming one with nature, all the same.
It's plastic. Plastic doesn't exactly become one with nature.
A very old statue indeed. I'd recommend you leave it well alone. The poor fellow's in bad enough shape as it is.
Okay, he doesn't want us to investigate it. That's good to know.
Where on earth did you find that?
It was in a bush outside. I think someone threw it away.
How peculiar.
The more I talk to you, the more you seem really suspicious, whether or not it's a red herring
I
or
find
not.
that painting to be in rather bad taste.
Oh yeah?
The knife with real blood on it? The whole thing is rather vulgar. Here's a thought. Do you suppose the paintbrush could be the murder weapon? After all, it was found at the scene, right next to Freya's body.
I guess it's possible.
Pointer property originally, purloined by the fellows. Typical.
Yeah, I don't like you.
Curious little thing, isn't it? Do you know what she keeps in there?
Nothing. At the moment. It was empty when we opened it.
How bizarre.
Can't a woman keep an empty egg in her room?
Is this important?
Possibly.
This looks a little rushed, even by Felix's standards.
At least he tried.
Yes, I suppose it's good for the old fellow to have a hobby. Keeps his mind from decaying, you know.
God, you're such an ass.
This is supposed to be Felix, is it?
I think so.
I see he's afforded himself considerable artistic license. Freya was well acquainted with the abstract, I'll say that much.
What does it look like to you?
To me, it's a big, red thing.
What a fascinating interpretation.
Yeah.
He's right though. It is a big red thing.
These were drawn by Freya? She must have drawn that one of Hawkshaw rather recently.
I guess.
Poppy's two closest friends. Freya looks so innocent there. That's a very old book, isn't it? Looks like someone could have taken better care of it.
I like the look of a well-read book. Better than one that's never been opened.
There you
go. Well put.
Better a book be read and worn than a book be never read and clean.
A diary can be a wonderful outlet for an outpouring of one's soul.
How do you know it's a diary?
I suppose I don't, but it does look like a diary. Curious creature, isn't it? Some sort of amphibious bipedal fishman.
Playing a trumpet.
Playing a trumpet, yes. Oh my. This is the first piece that Primrose ever learnt on the piano. Primrose, that is Poppy's mother. She passed it down to Poppy when she started teaching her how to play.
Poppy's piano teacher was her mother?
Of course. Warms my heart to know that after everything, Poppy still has it up on her wall. What a precious photograph. She hasn't changed a bit, has she?
Who?
Oh, if you don't know, perhaps I don't either.
Wow, I was about to say, can we trick him into just admitting outright that that's her?
You know, I've always wanted one of those.
A mechanical solar system? What would you do with it?
I would look at it.
Wait a minute. Earth in the middle, sun on the outside. How old is this thing?
Rotate the 5 planets, the sun and the moon around the middle. What? Which one's supposed to be the moon?
Nothing.
So there are 2 ways to move the shadows. Rotate the planets, and rotate the sun and moon.
Oh. Okay, but what are we supposed to be making? That's the only thing. We don't really have a... So a lot of these puzzles they tell you what to do, but they also don't. So I'm never quite certain what I'm supposed to be making.
I guess that's wrong.
I think you just need to get the shadows to line up with the shape on the base.
What do you mean the shape on the base? Oh god. Oh, these puzzles are really weird. Absolutely zero idea what they mean half the time. Interesting. Is that maybe what they're talking about? Okay.
No, that was it.
Oh, there we go. Okay, I got it.
Nice work.
Yeah, that one I kind of realized it when I accidentally noticed it.
Did you hear that? Something unlocked.
There's a little hatch underneath? What's in there?
A bunch of paper. Looks like somebody's research.
Oh no, why am I getting tired? Golden Beetle, various research notes and diagrams. The golden beetle, named for its exoskeleton, composed of a mineral approximately 90% identical to gold, has a lifespan of several years, fends off predators with a loud hiss, records of over 95 decibels, and by being completely undigestible. This misted has a somewhat oh my goodness, that word, spurious reputation for causing ill fortune to those that see it.
It's tidier than my desk. Oh, the notebook is untouched. It's completely blank.
So, even the most well-used notebooks start off blank.
It's tidier than my desk.
So, even the most well-used
It's tidier.
So, even the most well-used
A picture frame.
with no picture.
Every astronomy tower needs a telescope.
I want to try.
Whoa.
You can see right into Flora's room.
Not by accident.
I can see Flora, but she's not looking this way. She's looking up. Behind her is the backside of the easel holding Freya's unfinished painting. I can't really see anything behind it. Not from this angle.
Is that a window?
I think it is.
Is there another room above Flora's room?
We should check that next time we're over there. I can see the doorway. It leads into the hall. The door itself is on the floor, knocked off its hinges. I can just about see the gramophone.
It's that little plant Flora keeps on the window ledge.
Don't you think it would fall off? In the wind.
Maybe it's glued down.
Trees, for some reason. It's the tower opposite this one. You can see right
Not by
can
accident.
behind her. Can't really see. You can see right
Not by
behind her.
accident.
Can't really see anything. Isn't this supposed to be an astronomy telescope? I'm pretty sure you need to see the sky for astronomy to work.
I can't move it. I think this is just how it's set up.
Weirdo.
Trinkets.
They're clearly gizmos.
A Spyglass to the Stars. Volumes 1 to 12.
They're in very good condition.
Meaning he doesn't.
It's too cloudy to see any
He's a
stars
fake.
right now.
It's also daytime.
His wife was the astronomer, wasn't she?
It's too cloudy to see any stars right now.
It's also daytime. Pretty.
It's a chart of the solar system. Which planet are you from, Sally?
Didn't win any
What
points with her
is
for that
it?
one.
It's clearly some kind of large device.
You're not wrong.
Alright, I'm gonna ask him quick.
So, we found some research. What's up with this golden beetle?
I can't help you, I'm afraid. I think it must be something left behind by a previous inhabitant of Tangle Tower.
Your wife.
I'm not the first scientist to ever walk these halls.
You're
you
not
know.
a scientist.
Well, it wasn't in the halls. It was in your astronomy tower.
Yeah, this is not your tower. This is your
There's
wife.
something about Pointer's astronomy habits. Something suspicious.
Let's ask him about it.
You're not an astronomer.
So, Professor, what interests you about astronomy exactly?
It's not a matter of being interested. Once you expand your mind to the wider universe,
You are
it
giving such
cannot
vague
be
answers.
Unexpanded.
Mm-hmm. And how long have you been an astronomer?
I really don't like to give exact values unless I'm sure I can quantify them.
Convenient.
Why do you ask me these things?
You're not an astronomer.
I have a theory about you, Professor.
Oh? Go on.
You're not really interested in astronomy at all.
What could you possibly mean by that?
I think you're interested in a slightly different field of research.
Birds? No.
I don't have time for tiny, insignificant. My studies focus only on the inconceivably large and the unimaginably far away.
Right. That's why you like using your telescope so much.
Yes, naturally. My little portal into another world.
Yeah, about that. Pointer's telescope was actually looking at the crime scene and not up at the sky.
First, you accuse me of being a lowly entomologist. Now you're accusing me of, what, spying?
Yes.
Are you spying?
Why would I need to spy on Flora?
Why? Because you lost your golden beetle specimen, and it's made you paranoid. You think somebody stole it from you.
Might not have been Flora you were spying on. Might have been Freya.
It's a very precious specimen, incredibly rare, valuable in ways you could never understand. Freya was always sneaking around, both towers and in the gardens too. She was definitely up to something.
So, this next question is important. You were looking to Flora's room around the time of the murder. Did you witness the crime, Professor?
No, I didn't. When I looked into the room, Flora was already lying on the floor.
Flora? You mean Freya?
Freya.
No, Flora.
Wait,
she
what?
was lying by the window. I couldn't see Freya at all. It was fairly dark. The telescope isn't at a very good angle. That's why I decided to head over there myself. I needed to know what was going on.
Interesting.
This changes your statement, doesn't it?
No, everything I told you in my statement was true.
Apart from the reason you left your
Yeah.
tower in the first place.
Right.
Freya was definitely up to something.
Something to do with the statue in the garden, I think.
Wait, what?
Maybe we should go back and check. And we could have missed something.
Wait, what? That's a humongous leap in logic. What? What does the statue in the garden have to do with what we just learned? Am I crazy? Did I just miss something? Okay, we're not going there yet, because I have no idea where that leap in logic just went to. I would have said that, like, we need to talk to Flora, because of the fact that, like, she was on the ground. I can't, like, yes, Flora, sorry. My main memory for names is still screwing me over. But, what? What? Why does this place matter? Whatever, let's go here first. Interesting.
They're bird cages, but the birds are coming and going freely.
Is that a metaphor?
Oh, it totally is.
My little writing desk. It's kind of cute.
There's nothing written in the book, although someone's torn a page out of the middle.
A rather magnificent bush. Somewhat cruelly confined to a stone pot.
There's a letter P carved into the side. Check out that butterfly.
Looks evil.
Wow, judgmental.
I feel like I'm standing in a giant bird cage. Does this
Yeah.
count?
Oop, didn't mean to click.
No, doesn't matter. I don't like mirrors. They steal your soul.
How do you get your hair so symmetrical without using a mirror?
I do it by weight. I can feel if one side is heavier than the other.
What's with those little windows down there?
I think they're there for draining rainwater.
Oh. I feel like I'm standing in a giant bird cage. I feel like I'm standing in a giant... An especially fancy cage.
And it's home to 3 especially fancy birds.
They're all tightly locked in there, too. Can any of them even get out? Very brightly colored birds on a heavy, ornate cage. What's on the desk?
My little writing desk.
There's nothing written in the book.
Bird diagrams. Hand-painted.
They're beautiful. Someone really knows their stuff.
Oh, just beautiful. What is it?
Huh?
Sort of a delicate jade, but with a little seafoam green, is that right?
Sorry?
Your hair, dear! Which shade do you use? It's lovely! And that shape, you're really pushing the envelope.
Oh, thanks. I do what I can to offset Grimoire's beige on brown ensemble.
Detectives don't need to be brightly colored. We prefer to blend into the background.
Oh, you're the detective? Delightful. Penny Pointer, pleasure.
Is that short for Penelope?
Officially, yes, but I never can be bothered with all 4 syllables of it. Penelope sounds a little ostentatious coming out of the mouth, don't you think?
Sure. Yeah.
Let's go with that.
20-something, Aquarius, love to travel, and nearly all of my friends are birds.
Travel? Where to?
Anywhere at all, as long as it has species worth studying. Ornithology, they call it. I call it the only thing I've ever been good at.
And have you studied the birds here at Tangle Tower?
But of course! Where else do you think I developed my love of the field? No matter where I go, I always find myself coming home to Tangle Tower.
Because of the birds.
Oh, no, because of him! Silly to admit, but I suppose I can't bear for us to be apart.
Who are you talking about?
Oh, don't you know? My fiancé, dear Fitz. He's not really the traveling type, you see.
We haven't met Fitz yet.
Fitz fellow.
The very one.
You're engaged to a member of the Fellow family? That's interesting.
I'm not especially interested in whatever tedious feuding goes on between our 2 families. Fitz and I find it much easier to stay out of it altogether. I awoke early and headed down into the greenhouse to see Fitz. He's always there, crack of dawn, every morning like clockwork.
How come?
It's where he's happiest. That and he has a great deal of work to do every day, watering, pruning, mulching, whatever that is.
Do you help him with the work in the greenhouse?
Oh, no. I wouldn't dream of it. I'd probably break something.
So, you stayed with Fitz the whole day?
No. In the early afternoon, he went back inside. Rather suddenly, as it happens.
Did he say why?
He didn't. Probably just a touch of heat stroke, the poor dear. He's more delicate than you'd think.
What did you do after that?
Let's see. I returned to the aviary to feed my birds.
And how many birds are you responsible for?
Officially 4, but in truth it's more like 400.
Can they not feed themselves?
Of course, and they often do. But I think they just like the company. As do I.
You know, I was worried you were gonna be like this. I don't want to say, I don't know. I guess just flirty character when you introduce yourself. But I think you're honestly just really lonely.
Sometime in the evening, I left the aviary and headed back towards my room. But in the hall, I spotted Uncle Pointer heading down the stairs. He was muttering something. Seemed a bit upset, the poor dear. I followed him down, but the grand hall was empty by the time I got there. Empty aside from Detective Hawkshaw, who was loitering over by the library. I don't know what it was, but she looked a little lost. I inquired about the professor, and she told me he'd gone up the fellow tower. I ran up the stairs, hoping to catch up with him, but Felix appeared and blocked my path. For some reason, he was coming out of Fitz's bedroom.
Oh?
He looked rather lost, too. I told him I was looking for Uncle. He suggested we look up in Flora's tower room. We could see from the hallway. The door was off its hinges. I knew then something was terribly wrong. A moment later, we were gazing down on the body of poor Freya. Uncle Pointer was there. Fitz, too, standing over in the corner with Fifi and Poppy.
What about Flora?
Of course, silent as ever. Uncle suggested we should leave. Give the others some space, you know. So he and I both returned to our rooms in Pointer Tower.
Now, we learned something interesting about, Felix there, because Felix says he was in his room the majority of the time. I really wish I could just click on these and say, like, oh, this is where they were.
A fellow bird enthusiast. She's quite the expert, truth be told. Studied them professionally at one point. I think her father taught her.
Are you friends with Flora?
A little bit.
A little bit friends.
She's one for the peace and quiet. I dare say I'm a little too loud for her.
I can see that.
I do admire her, though, really. Always felt like she could have done better than settle for Felix.
Ouch.
I said it. I must say, I really don't care for the den of self-delusion that he's retreated into. People are better off when they just let themselves be themselves. Between you and me, I think Felix is secretly rather miserable. She mostly ignores me, if I'm honest.
How come?
Well, we're not quite on the same intellectual level.
Oh. you don't need to.
No, it's quite all right. I'm comfortable with it. She's a most unsavory little...
Whoa.
She was incredibly rude about my appearance.
Which part? The giant bird arms, or...
If I were her, I'd go easy on the judgment of others. I mean, look at her. She looks like the ghost of a scarecrow. I just wish Uncle Pointer would tell her to behave herself.
Professor Pointer? Why him?
Oh, it was Uncle that called her in. She's his responsibility.
Oh.
Did you not know that?
Well, we now know who Hawkshaw's client is. Oh, she was trying to find his golden beetle, wasn't she?
She'd sit in the aviary, first thing in the morning, and paint the birds. Sometimes she'd ask me their names.
Freya was interested in studying bird species too?
No, just wanted to know their names. Isabelle, Clementine, Myrtle, Lysandre, Genevieve.
Got it, thanks.
For my 21st birthday, she gave me a framed painting. All the birds from a single spring, with their names written underneath. I can't begin to tell you how much I've treasured it.
Sounds like you two were close.
I feel like I always struggled to articulate my admiration for her, but she had a way of understanding unspoken things. Can't say I've ever taken an interest in Uncle's astronomy. On occasion I've dared to visit him in his tower, but I always regret it. It's all just a little too abstract for me.
What do you mean?
Oh, did you know the sun is apparently over 400,000 miles wide? Okay, so what should I do with that information? How does it help me?
Don't look at me. You're the one who memorized it.
Oh, she's beautiful. Who is she? Wait, is that me?
Really?
Oh, did you talk to Poppy already?
Yeah, a little bit.
And did you make any notes of what she told you?
Yeah, I did.
Lovely. Burn them.
What?
It'll all be lies.
Why would Poppy lie to us?
Because that's what she does. She's a snake. Looks like one, too.
Don't you think you're being a little unfair, Penny?
She started it.
Okay then.
You know, it's probably quite impressive. To a visitor, fresh eyes and all that.
Not to you?
Try living in it for 20 years. Machine wears off. If it wasn't for my fits, I'd have little reason to stay.
What about inheritance? You're the next oldest pointer after your uncle, aren't you?
Well, thank you very much for phrasing it like that. But no, any money left in the Pointer family will pass down directly to Poppy.
Is that fair?
I couldn't care less, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, you truly don't care.
Finally! I get to see a detective's case file.
That's a very specific thing to be excited about.
Well, only last week I asked that miserable Hawkshaw woman if I could see her case notes.
I'm guessing she said no.
Would have been much more polite if she had just said no. Instead, she was quite rude to me. Accused me of being, what was it? A shallow sensationalist. Goodness me, Poppy really doesn't take care of her belongings, does she?
It wasn't in Poppy's room. It was in the little pond in the garden.
Exactly! Hardly the place for it. I'm sure I've read about this creature somewhere. Don't remember anything about him playing the harp, though. Hello. Who penned this juicy little number?
We don't know. It's not signed.
An anonymous letter? Classic clue. I doubt Freya intended it, but the overall effect is a little unsettling. Don't you think? It's Flora that's the problem. She's an inescapably haunting presence, bless her. Oh, that's rather sad.
Wait, what is?
Poppy's gramophone. She's had it for a long time. As a young child, she'd call it her mama phone, on account of it belonging to her mother.
That's cute.
Oh yes, adorable.
Jesus.
Oh, terrible.
You recognize it?
The color scheme. 3 different pinks. Obscene. Gaudy old thing, isn't it? Flora seems very fond of it. I've never understood why. But then I could say the same thing about her husband.
Heyo!
Freya doesn't take very good care of her pains, does she? But then she was always rather bohemian. Had her own priorities. If I'm not mistaken, that little red and white one is supposed to be a bird of some kind. A bit vain to carve wooden figurines of oneself, isn't it? I know a lot of people rather like this painting, but it's a little much for me. I find it overbearing. And for some reason, it makes me feel bad for Freya. I think she was more troubled than we knew. Very nice.
You've seen these before?
Yes.
All of them. Even this one of...
Yes. Freya was very talented, even at that age.
Do you know how old this photo is?
Not sure. Must be a couple of years at least. Sometime before Fiona settled on her current style. Somebody taking an interest in extinct animals.
Extinct.
Oh, yes. The book is very old. Most of the birds in it are long gone.
Well, what about this bird, though? The ink dip.
This one, well, was thought to be extinct for a long time. Then one was found here at Tangle Tower.
So it's not extinct.
You misunderstand. It was the last one. The very last.
Oh.
Interesting. So, I don't know. Everyone here has some form of motive, I feel like.
Oh, a secret diary.
That's our guess too.
Excellent.
Okay then.
Haven't seen this one in a while. He lives in the music room, doesn't he?
Currently.
Looks a little simple for Poppy, doesn't it? Thought she was a grade 12 or something.
I didn't know there were that many grades.
I'm sure they invented some new ones just for her. Not a fan of insects myself.
You have a
Whose research is this?
We were hoping you might know.
No, can't say I... Freya, perhaps. I know she was always very fond of grubby little things like this.
Noted.
I can't decide what's worse. How she looks here, or how she looks now.
Do you know who this is? In the photo?
Oh, absolutely no idea.
You would think she would tell us because she likes insulting Poppy.
I must say the girls are awfully well behaved today. I think they know we're in the presence of company.
They belong to you. Why do you keep them in a cage?
They need a special diet, particular treatment. I let them out to fly occasionally, of course. But they're all one of a kind. I couldn't let anything happen to them.
Do they have names?
Of course. Let me introduce you to Tabitha, Tamara, and Tatiana.
I've already forgotten all three of those names.
Which one is which?
Same for me.
Oh, that's simple. Tatiana is the oldest, Tabitha is the most patient, and Tamara has the best sense of rhythm.
Glad we cleared that up.
What about the one on your head?
On my head? He's just my hat. He doesn't have a name. Who would name their hat?
We can get into Penny's room now.
Now, like, right now?
But I think I'm gonna leave it here. I will see you all next time on the next part of Tangle Tower, where we investigate Penny's room. See you then.